My message today is very clear. Stop creating for the algorithm. And that's what I want to talk about today, and for which I welcome you to this new series with the working title Mods and Monologues. But really, I just want to peacefully play some modded Minecraft and talk about topics that are important to me. So let's get into this. And maybe a better title for today should be Stop Letting the Algorithm Quietly Decide What You Make. Because I think somewhere along the way, in almost every creator's journey, there comes this shift where creating is just it stops feeling like creating. It starts very small, like you get an idea, and instead of getting excited about it, your first reaction is something like, will this perform? Will the algorithm even push this? Will people click this? Is it too slow? Is it too weird? Is this even worth it? And I've definitely been in that place more than once already, trust me. And over time, without really noticing it, you stop making things because you love them. You start making them because you feel like you're supposed to make them that way. And I think that's the point where creativity starts fading, just really slowly and quietly in the background until it's gone or you're burnt out. We've seen it happen a lot of times for many creators. And I think that's why I wanted to make this video and honestly this whole channel in general, because if you already know my content, most of it's very heavily edited, it's very cinematic, it's very structured, and I really do love that part of it. I love storytelling, I love visuals, I love sound design, I love spending way too much time on details that most people probably won't even notice. But at the same time, I want something else next to that. Something where I don't feel like I'm constantly optimizing every second, where I can just sit in a world, talk, think out loud, go on tangents, and not constantly ask myself if everything's working fine for retention. So this is why we're here today as well. Just you and me in a world talking. And like I said, today I want to talk about this idea of creating for the algorithm. And I want to be really honest here because I'm absolutely not free of this myself. I still check analytics way too often. I still think about some thumbnails, pacing, retention curves, titles, all of that. And I still catch myself trying to improve ideas before they even fully exist, just to make them, I don't know, maybe safer or more optimal for the algorithm. And I can feel how draining that is sometimes. Like, I really, really hate it and really dread it some days, because at the same time, I do care about my videos performing well. I want to be able to keep doing this. I want to build bigger projects, more ambitious ideas, better stories, and maybe a little more freedom in the future. And mainly, I want to grow this community. But there's a difference between using those tools and being controlled by them. And I think I crossed that line more than once, because I've had so many moments, and I'm sure you know them, where I put hours and hours into something I was actually proud of, something I genuinely enjoyed making. Then I looked at how it performed and it almost changed how I felt about it. I was disappointed, even though the video itself didn't change at all. Like my Majora's Task video, I loved that concept so much and had so much fun doing the video, and it was such a good fit for me and what I wanted to do. And I poured so much time into editing this and doing little gimmicks and skins and textures, and I enjoyed it. And then it got 300 views, and none of this mattered anymore. And I instantly forgot how much fun it was to make it. And that's really a strange thing when you experience it enough times, because suddenly you're not just reacting to your work anymore, you're reacting to numbers. And that's where I started separating two things in my head, and where I had to start separating two things in my head. This performed well, and I'm proud of this, because those two things don't always match, and you have to keep that separation clear, or it slowly starts affecting everything you do. Because you cannot let your self-worth and the love for your creativity be dampened by how many views something got. Like, real creative fulfillment lasts way longer than those temporary views. And I think you should not concentrate on what racks up views and impressions. You should concentrate on making something you'd watch yourself. One of the clearest moments I remember that shifted something in me came earlier this year when I joined my first SMP, the Paperboard SMP, which I love so dearly. And for context, there are a lot of incredibly creative people on there, a lot of small creators who are artists and storytellers, all trying to figure things out by making really cool stuff. And naturally, there's a lot of pressure around performance, even if nobody says it out loud. But people compare views, people worry, people overthink. We had endless discussions about ideas and thumbnails and titles. We spent hours on talking about the algorithm and how it affects us creating videos. And my good friend Mono, who you should check out definitely when you relate to the topic of this video today, always asked a question then that I came to love and that always stood out to me, because Mono does not worry about views, like genuinely. And every time someone was feeling down about their numbers, every time someone was stressing about how a video performed, Mono would just ask this one question: want to ask, but did you enjoy making it? And that smacked me in the head and made me open up so much, because I remember the first time I really sat with that question, because it sounds almost too simple to matter, but it kind of hits different when you let it land. Because most of us don't ask that first. We ask how it performed before we ask how it felt. We look at retention before we look at experience. We look at growth before we look at enjoyment. And if the process itself starts feeling bad, it doesn't really matter what the outcome is. That feeling will catch up eventually. And I think that's something a lot of creators forget. We didn't start doing this because it was optimal, because everything was going so well. We started because it was fun, because it felt like something we actually wanted to do. Like, we started knowing full well that this will be a learning curve and that it will take some time to get where we want it to be. So again, thank you, Mono, and really do check out Mono's video. He's such an artist in like every way, so absurd yet so talented and creative. Really, really check him out. I put a link in the description. But I've noticed something else too, because when I started this channel, I already knew why I wanted to do this, why I finally wanted to overcome my fear of doing this. And I didn't know how, but I knew why, because I wanted to start acting on my passions, which is something everyone should do. If you're not living and trying to do what you're passionate about, what are you doing? It's definitely hard to get there. I basically spent all my youth and 20s figuring out what it was, and when I did, I kind of felt ashamed to do it anyway. Until I did not anymore. I just started doing what I was passionate about, and it is this: the videos that feel the most alive to me, that have the most soul, not just from me but from other creators as well, are usually the ones where you can tell someone just had an idea and went with it, even if it didn't fit perfectly into what should work. And that's also why I started valuing weird ideas more. Again, like, I want to try the stupid ideas. I want to try the stuff that doesn't make sense. Like, I just did an SAP episode that's fully cinematic, under 10 minutes, and I basically play this Sherlock-type character inside Minecraft. And does it tick all the optimization boxes? No. Did it perform well? No. But did it excite me? Yeah. So why not? I mean, that's usually enough reason to try something, because I think audience can feel that difference. Your audience will feel the genuine excitement and the effort and the love you put into your videos. Not everyone will connect with it, of course, but the people who do, they really do. And I'd rather build something like that slowly and honestly than something fast that doesn't feel like me. And something interesting happens when you start leaning into that mindset more. You stop asking like what performs and start asking what feels like me. And I think that's where creativity starts coming back again. Because for a while, I definitely lost that. I was mostly thinking in terms of like structure and pacing and efficiency and retention and safety, for better or for worse, not really in terms of expression. And that connects to something else too, being authentic. Because I think it's actually hard to be yourself when you're constantly trying to perform like correctly. Even outside of YouTube, I noticed that in myself. I always feared people would not like the real me. I would often present a version of me that felt safer, more controlled, less risky, just like in YouTube. And content creation kind of broke that over time, especially joining the SMP, because suddenly I couldn't rely on perfect editing anymore. Like, let me take you behind the scenes here for a second. My first 7 episodes of my Forever World single player, I recorded and then voiced over. I needed it to be perfect. I needed every word where it was supposed to be. But on a server like this, that doesn't really work. You can't fully control everything. So I had to let go of that a bit. And at first it felt really uncomfortable and it made me feel vulnerable, to be honest. Because speaking English naturally, even though it's not my first language, I was really scared of that. And being spontaneous and being slightly awkward sometimes, it made me really self-aware. But over time it started feeling more natural and honestly more real. And I think that also changed me outside of videos. I became more social, more comfortable just talking to people without overthinking every sentence, more okay with things not being perfect. And I think viewers notice that more than we assume, because people don't really connect to perfect execution. They connect to presence, to honesty, to something that feels like a real person on the other side made this. So why pretend it to be something else? What I want to say here is, it will be hard to start creating only what you love and enjoy. It will feel vulnerable and it will make you self-aware. But once you let go, once you stop doubting your ideas and create for the sake of creating, man, you will want nothing else. I mean, I think about how cool this will be. There will be stuff that is genuinely you, that you can be proud of, that people see and feel a connection to, that people relate to. And that's kind of what I want this channel to move toward to more and more. Because that is the next thing. What do you think is more memorable to people? The next best challenge video about how they can restrict themselves more until they beat the game? Or a video that genuinely makes someone feel something? You want viewers to relate to your videos instead of them just consuming it. Stories and real emotions connect with people way more than some optimized slop that plays into all this attention economy stuff. I mean, do you want to create meaningful art? Do you want to create a heartfelt story? Do you want to create a fun half an hour that makes people forget time? Or do you just want to be monetizable? The intention should never be virality. The intention should be thoughtful, artsy, entertaining content that you yourself would watch. And if you make exactly that, virality will follow. You just gotta put in the work. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to chase some algorithm just to hit some metrics and have a few lines of code, be proud of how long I can keep people on the platform. I want genuine emotion. I want real stories. I want to give people a space where they feel understood, where they feel inspired. Most importantly, the inspiration is so important to me. And where people get that tingling in their fingers to create something as well. And I urge you to want that too. Everything is so monetized today. Every hobby has to be a side hustle. You really got to learn to create for the sake of creating again. You got to learn to create for yourself because nothing else will make you happy at the end of the day. So again, I urge you, stop creating for the algorithm.